Hey you, it's practice day number 4, and again, as usual, the warning: please don't watch this video. It's for my own practice, for the sake of my own practice, and it's unedited, and well, it's not pretty, so it doesn't mean it's not meant for the public. For the regular viewer to bring any value. Okay, so back to the current matters or current state of things. I noticed a lot of resistance in using ChatGPT and in general in these activities, and I think it's probably because I have my my camera confidence and camera speaking and video recording issues appear, or they activated, and now I feel a lot of resistance doing that. I feel like it's meaningless and it won't bring me any value, and I should probably stop. I feel overwhelmed. I feel that it's useless. I feel that there is no sense in doing that, and it's all we're all gonna die, and it's all like just a waste of time, which indicates for me, and my energy level is way lower, which indicates to me that it's probably and most likely my own resistance at work, the things that my insecurities and the things that are like my subconscious things that and mechanisms at work, the things that make me in any like routes to avoid doing this, because because they think that it's dangerous and some harm is weaved into this activity. And so they're trying to trick me into stop doing that. And I think that the only way to proceed, because I want to proceed, I want to improve, is to continue doing that, acknowledge and respect this resistance, the way I feel, and to try to have some fun. So, and to fool around in these videos and to continue exposing myself to this recording environment and make mistakes, use English, and just do a lot of work and record a lot of videos such as this, and and teach or show these resistances that these videos, they won't make me any harm and they are beneficial. So this is what I'm doing right now, and it's no fun, but I guess my conscious part, its responsibility, or it's for my conscious, or like me, the one that's my conscious part, the conscious part of me, to find ways to manage to make it more enjoyable and fun. So yeah, now I'm gonna start the actual process. Wait a minute, I have this security purchasing process going on, and I want I'm not sure what to do. Okay, I will postpone that. So let's continue to work on the current video script, and I'll try to task ChatGPT to create me some outlines, and I'll use several models for that. So I will use several proof of concepts, I would say. Well, because why not? Let's I thought that, hey, you know what? I'm not skilled enough currently to use ChatGPT to its best, probably, but I have something, some skills and some models to that provide me, well, somewhat useful output. So I will use those models. And what's the segment? It's segment 9, I guess, for tables. Let's see. And I will use those models to, okay, great, model like segment 9, it's segment 9. So I'll just use those models to generate scripts, segments, script for segments of the script, and I will take the things that I like there and use those. And I'll spend some time during the week to improve those models. So let's see what the first one generated. All right, now that we've explored images and their attributes, let's dive into something that structures data beautifully on the web: tables, HTML tables. Tables are fantastic for organizing information in a grid-like format, similar to what we see in spreadsheet software. They're used for displaying data, schedules, or even structuring the layout for parts of a web page, which is an outdated, actually, technique to lay out web page or parts of the web page. Let's bin. Okay, I will, what's this? HTML tables. Tables. HTML tables will have this heading 3 things. Okay, I like this one. Is creating here inside. A table is created with the table tag. Think of it as declaring here starts a table. Well, I think it's redundant to do that. Inside this table, we organize our data into rows and cells. Okay, I like it partially, so I would use these 2 sentences and then rewrite them later. So let's write something like here with Jim. Okay. Inside a table, we use the tr tag to define a table row. It stands for inside a table tag, we use the tr tag for table rows. Why? And then it repeats that. It stands for table row, and it's like saying here is a row of data. What? Like, we don't need to say that many times. For table rows. Now, within each row, we can have individual cells. There are 2 types of cells: header cells. Okay, I like this one enough. So it is now within each row, we can have individual cells. There are two types of cells: header cells defined with TH and standard cells defined with TD. The TH is used for headers, making it bold and centered by default to signify that it's title information for either a column or row. Okay, the TD or table data is for standard cell content. I like a portion of those. Okay. So I'll use that, and then the TH making bold inserted by default. Okay. Okay, this one is good. In this example, our first row uses TH tags following rows to fill data matching each game. Okay, well, it's not bad, actually, code. I would use that idea too. In this example, our first row uses TH tags to create headers for game and genre. Following rows use TD to fill in the data, matching each game with its genre. When rendered in a browser, you'll see a neat table with two columns, making the information easy to digest. Remember, tables should be used for tabular data, not for layout purposes. While it was a common practice in the past to use tables to design layout, modern web browser went to favors. I like it. This approach, CSS for styling and layout to keep our HTML clean and semantically correct. This approach ensures our web pages are accessible and maintain a clear separation between structure and presentation. I like it. Okay. Use this to as an inspiration to describe the following example. I would use this part and as an inspiration, as I said. I like it. And now let's add another row of text, and I'll write it. Great meaning. Rewrite the text for the better. Rewrite the text. Okay, great meaning. Rewrite the text. Okay, and what? And provide summary. Okay, so I like those. Having those, I just don't like the language and the way information is presented there. So let's see. Let's look at the second version of this. Let's dive into HTML tables. HTML tables are like the grid systems we see in spreadsheets. Is it shorter? They help us organize data in rows and columns on a web page, making it easier to read and understand. Okay, this can be used. I can use those. Imagine you're setting up a scoreboard for a game with each player's name and their score. That's where tables come in handy. Or maybe example option 2. Okay, maybe this will be The table tag kicks off our table. It's like saying here starts our scoreboard. Here starts our scoreboard. Oh, I don't like it, but it seems like ChatGPT uses some kind, uses my instructions. It's just does a bad job of using those or writing the script. Inside, we use different tags to build up the structure. Maybe. First up, TR standing for table row. Think of each TR as a new line in our scoreboard where we'll list a player's name and their score. I don't like this one. We need to the actual explanation and definition of HTML tables are hidden behind the scoreboard, and well, we need to think of it something. Within each row, we use TH or TD for the actual data. TH for table headers, used to describe what each column represents. For our scoreboard, I like it, actually. Okay. TH makes it bold and centered for our scoreboard. That might be player name and score. TH makes it bold and centered by default, drawing attention to these titles. TD, on the other hand, stands for table data, where we put the actual information. So under our player name and score headers, each TD would hold the name of a player and their score. You know, I'm thinking that I really don't like how ChatGPT intertwines explanation with examples, but I am but the actual definition and introduction of the what a tag is and this explanation without any examples is good enough. Maybe I'm thinking I will remove this request to intertwine the explanation with examples, and I will just ask for good explanations what this is, how it's written, and leave out the examples, and I'll just write examples myself. Here is how you'd structure a simple data, and there is this code, HTML code for a simple data. Let's break it down. We start with table, declaring we're about to build a table. Then we add our first row with TR, which will hold our headers. TH elements come next, labeling our columns player name and score. After setting up our headers, we create additional rows for each player. Each row contains two TD elements, one for the player's name and one for their score. This way, we've got a neat and organized scoreboard showing players and their scores. Tables can get complex with more tags and attributes for styling and advanced functionality, but this gives you a solid foundation. Remember, tables are great for presenting data, but use them wisely. Overuse can make your page look cluttered. I would like to use this approach. So something like, okay, we have tables. Let's create one. I'm going to write this, this, and that. This is this, this is that, this is that. Okay. Let's break it down. We start with table and maybe use this approach for showing and explaining topics, tables included. Explain by creating, showing, and explaining. I actually like this approach more. So there are variables. Let me first create one and then I'll teach you what it is or explain what it is. So this is variable. I write name, something like score. Okay, I like it actually. Let's see. This one we've used already. Let's archive this one too. So let's look at the third version of this. Now that we've seen how images can be embedded into our web pages, let's shift gears a bit and talk about organizing. Let's shift gears a bit and talk about organizing data. Specifically, we're going to dive into HTML tables. This is so useless. Tables are an essential part of web design and development, used for displaying data in a structured format. Well, it's good. This is a good information, but it's awful place to tell this. Think of tables like the ones you see in spreadsheets, where data is organized into rows and columns. It's a way to neatly display information so it's easy to read and understand. It's not like people are dumb and they don't know what a table is. It's just like a table is columns and rows. And that's it. Let's start with the basics. To create a table in HTML, so this part is we can just remove it. To create a table in HTML, we use the table tag. It acts as the container for all your table content. Okay. Okay, I don't like it. Imagine the table tag is the frame of a picture holding everything together. Okay. Within this frame, the data is organized into rows, which we create with the TR. TR stands for table row. If we are continuing with our picture frame analogy, which I don't want to, because this is awful, you can think of each TR as a horizontal shelf within the frame where you'll place different items or data in this case. Each row can have one or more cells, which are divided into header cells. I like this one. Header cells marked by the TH tag are typically used for column titles or headings. Are typically used. And what are untypical usages of TH tag? They are like labels for your data, telling you what kind of information you'll find in that column. Data cells marked by the by the TD tag hold the actual data. So if TH is the label, TD is the item you place on the shelf. Here's a simple example to show this in action. Let's say we want to create a table displaying information about different dog breeds. We'll start with our table tag to create the frame for our table. Next, we'll add a row for our headings using the tr tag. We'll include 3 headings: breed, size, and origin. Each heading goes into a th tag. Okay, and there is this code for the table. The table, an opening table tag, and opening tr tag. The first th element, the second th element, and the third th element. Then goes the closing tr tag and the closing table tag. Now let's add some data. We'll create a new row for each dog breed and fill in the details with td tags. And just like that, and so there are several rows with table data, and just like that, we've created a basic table. When you load this HTML in a web browser, you'll see your data neatly organized into rows and columns. The th elements are often styled differently by browsers to stand out from the td elements, usually bolded and centered to indicate they are headings. This is the foundation of creating tables in HTML. Okay. Of course, table can get much more complex with the addition of attributes for styling, spanning rows or columns. But for now, understanding table, tr, th, and td will get you pretty far in displaying structured data on your web pages. What I like, let's add some data. Inside we use tr4. Let's have create the first row. We can get cells to be table headers. And now let's add some data. Okay, I will archive this chat too. So what do we have next? Tables are like spreadsheets of the web. They let you organize your data neatly in rows and columns, making it easier to, well, I like this one. Think of a table like a grid where you can place information in tidy boxes. To start with a table in HTML, we use the table tag. Inside this table, we can have several rows. Okay, I like this. Inside this table, we can have several rows, each represented by the tr tag. Next, inside each row, we can have cells. There are 2 types of cells, header cells and data cells. Header cells use the th tag, which stands for table header. They're like labels at the top of each column in a spreadsheet telling you the data, telling you what the data below represents. Data cells use the TD for standing for table data. These are the cells where your actual data goes. I like this one too. It's important to match the number of TH and TD cells to keep your table organized. If your first row has two headers, each row after that should have two data cells to keep everything aligned. I really like that. Let's build a simple table to see this in action. Imagine you're making a table for a high school's pet show, listing participants. There is this code and no comments when I was for coding alone. This table has a row for headers with participant name and pet name as headers. Then it has two rows of data, one for Alex and Rocky and another for Sam and Bella. Okay. Creating tables in HTML is straightforward once you get the hang of it. Okay, this is new. Once you get the hang of it. Start with the table tag to create your table. Add rows with TR and fill those rows with header cells and data cells. This structure allows you to present data. Okay. Hello, I'm continuing my practice, my camera present practice for today, and I will continue working on the script. So, where I left off. Let's see other versions. Tables in HTML are like tables you see in a spreadsheet. They're perfect for displaying data in rows and columns. Okay, I like that. Here. I will have this as a draft. Is my draft for, okay, to create a table, we use the table tag. Inside our table, we need rows, each row. So it's going to be to create a table, we use the table tag, and somewhere I had can I? I think somewhere I had this beautiful phrase about it acts as a container for all your table, our table content. Inside our table, we need rows. It's a container. It's a container for all for table content, for all table content. Inside our table, we need rows. We need rows. Each row is created with the tr tag, and why do I have this one? What's the sound? Where the sound comes? from, I am not sure. So each row is created with the tr tag, which stands for table row. Imagine lining up that. Okay, inside we need rows. I like it. Then I would want to use we use tr tag for table rows. We use tr tag for table rows. Okay, we use tr. Where is it? No, I don't like it. Inside this table, we can have several rows. What the? Inside our table, we need rows. We use the tr tag for that. No, inside. Where is it? Inside our table, we need rows. We use the tr tag for table rows. Okay, let's this tr for the first row, this tr is for the first row. What's that? Let's create the first row with tr and make it cells to be table headers. Okay, this is okay. Now within each row we can have individual. Each row can have one or more cells to create header cells. We use the th tag. It stands for table header. So one th pair for one header cell. I'll create 3. I want 3 cells for headers. And what I want to have here. Okay, code. Table, opening tag, closing tag. Now tr, closing tr. Now I want th, closing th. So 3, for some reason I want 3. What do I fill with 3? Our table will hold games, title, year, and release date, and what else? It's gonna have title. It's gonna have release date, and it's gonna have genre. Title. Is it 2? Title. Yes. Title. Tun. Our table will be about games. The first column will be title. The second release date, and the third is genre. To do, refresh the page to show that. Great. We have the first row. We have the first row for and its table headers. I want to put their information about boldness and aligned by center aligned data cells used to describe notice that table header cells are bold and centered by default. The text inside table header cells is bold and centered by default. Let's add a few. Where is it? There are two types. Now let's add some data. Now let's add some data. I want two more table rows because I want two games in this table. I want to have two games in this have two games in this table, and okay, so it'll be code, okay. This is code. Okay, I want TD table data. I want to change table headers to TD, and let's have a second. What games I want to have here for the title? I want to Baldur's Gate 3 release day and genre I don't know, and for that I want to have World of Warcraft. Maybe okay. What's release date? What's the release date of it? August 2023. Okay. Genre. What's the genre? Genre. Is it D&D? Yeah, what's the genre? Mode, war, license, role-playing video game, RPG. Okay, let's put RPG. What's the release date? World of Warcraft. Maybe I want StarCraft 2. StarCraft 2. StarCraft. Two. Let's see what's the release date of StarCraft 2. It's June. Oh, it's July. Okay, it is July 2010. And I would say it's RTS. I want 2 more table rows because I want to add 2 games to this table, because I want to have 2 games in this table to list. To have 2 games in this table, to add, to have, whatever, to have. Okay, let's use this. Let's add some data. Okay, I want I'm not sure how to transition. We'll have another table row. Inside, we'll have and what TD, 2 types, the TD. Inside we'll have the TD. The TD tag or table data is for our standard cell content. The first cell is for games title. It's gonna be Baldur's Gate. Baldur's Gate 3. The second is for cell is for release date. It's August 3. And the genre is RPG. I want to add one more. I want to add one more game here. So it'll be one more row. It'll be one more row. It'll be one more. We have one row, one table row for every game has, how do you say this? I want to add one more game here, so TR. So TR for a new table row. And I somehow want to mention that the amount of cells need to match. It's important to match the number of TH and TD cells in every row. In every row to keep, if our first row has three header cells, each row after that should have three data cells to keep everything aligned. I'll add the first cell now is StarCraft 2. The second is July. And the genre is RTS. I want to great. Now we've got one game in our table. I want to add one more date. I want to have one more. I want to add one more to add one more. So TR for new, first genre. And there you go. StarCraft 2 is in our table. Okay, so a fantastic, organized, making it easier. I don't like it. And what do we want to have there? So organized neatly in rows and columns. I like this one. Tables are like tables in HTML are like the tables you see in spreadsheets. They let you organize your data neatly in rows and columns. To create a table, okay, neatly, I like this one better. A table, we can have several. Next, there are two. Labels, data, okay. This one is mentioned. Inside, for rows first, each row can have one or more cells. Okay, I have that too. Okay, this is good. Now within each row, we can have individual cells. There are two types, the table data for standard. And this is how you create tables in okay, so this is This is how you create tables with HTML. You start with the table tag. You start with the table tag to create a table, add rows with tr, and fill those rows with header tags and header cells and data cells. And I think this is good. So let's say that, okay, this is good. Delete, stopped here. Let me quickly check what other, so it was POC4. In this segment, we'll dive into the world of HTML tables, crucial component for displaying data in a structured and easy to read format on the web. Tables in HTML are versatile and can be used for various purposes, from displaying tabular data for crafting complex page layouts. This is crap about layouts, it's outdated. Let's break down how to create and manipulate tables using HTML. First, to begin with tables, you need to understand the table tag. Oh my god, this tag acts. This is horrible. The TR next. So POC4, don't like it. Oh, let's archive the chat. Tableau, Olusimake, what the hell? Tables are a powerful HTML element used to display data in a structured format, making it easier for viewers to understand and interact with information. Now let's dive into creating and manipulating tables in HTML. First up, we introduce the table tag. What's that? This is I don't want to use this script at all. Okay. Tables in HTML serve as a structured way to display data, much like a spreadsheet. They are versatile and can be used for a variety of purposes, such as organizing text, numbers, and even images. Let's dive into how to create and structure a table in HTML. First, we use the table tag to define the table's outer boundaries. Think of it as a drawing an invisible box on your web page where your table will reside. Inside this table tag, we organize our data into rows and columns. Each row is created with a TR tag, which stands for table row. Let's add a row to our table. Now within each row, we can have one or more cells. These cells can either be table headers defined by the TH. Okay, I don't like it. It's POC4. Why do I have so many POC4s? Now that we've explored, tables are a powerful tool. They're especially handy when you need to present information in a grid-like manner, such table or statistical. Think of a table as a way to arrange information in columns. They know what a table is. Tables in HTML are created using a combination of several tags, each serving a specific purpose. And the heart of any table is the table tag, which defines the table itself. Inside this tag, you use TR to create rows. To define header cells, and TR stand the table tag. What? Start by declaring a table using this tells rows TR. Within you need rows to hold the data. Headers with TH for column headers, which are typically bold and centered by default. Use short. No, I don't like it at all. Attributes and styling. Now let's create. We start with the table tag, that tag as a container for all the other table related tags. Inside we use t reuse. This is not good. Okay, what this means is that POC2 is now, for me, I like POC2 the best. So let's create a couple of those and provide it outline. And I want to have segment 10 here. So I will attach outline 1 to every row, and you do this. Okay, segment 10, go. Segment 10, go. Segment 10, go. Go, go. And as soon as it generates me the response, I will go over it. Hey there, I continue my practice, today's practice, English camera presence, and that's it. So at this point, I have my draft section for tables finished, and I've decided to not include divs, spans, ID, and class explanations into this video because it's outside of the scope of intended scope for this video. And now I will continue with the next topic, which is HTML stripped white spaces and HTML entities. Okay, HTML doesn't care much for extra spaces or line breaks you put in your code. It treats many spaces as just one and it ignores line breaks. For example, if we have a paragraph graph, what paragraph do I want to have? Too many spaces or bad for your soul. And closing PHP, closing P tag. If we have a paragraph with huge gaps and many line breaks like this, let's see the output for this paragraph. It should be like this. All the extra spaces and new lines were perfectly removed. Browser Browser removed all the extra spaces and new lines. New lines. Browser removed all the extra spaces and new lines. To get around this, HTML has special codes called entities for characters that have a specific meaning in HTML or aren't easily typed on a keyboard. For example, if we want to add a space that HTML won't ignore, we write ampersand NBSP colon, which stands for non-breaking space. This entity creates a space that HTML will always recognize. One entity creates one space. So if I want to have like 5 of those, 5 consecutive spaces that browser won't strip away, I'll add 5 NBSP non-breaking space entities. Non-breaking space entities. And let's non-BSP. Okay. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and now let's see. Let's render it. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spaces. Now we have 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spaces. One initial regular space and 5 more created by those by HTML with HTML by the HTML entities. I think that there are so the syntax for an HTML entity is ampersand. Is this correct? Okay. Then entity name followed by semicolon. There, semicolon. There are many HTML entities. you can full list. Let's see, character period. I will include, I'll include links, couple of links to a complete entity, to such lists, to extended entity list. In the description, let's add, let's ask ChatGPT what are the fun word, list me 5 fun HTML entities. Copy, reg, no, euro, heart, no. List 5 more. Pound, yen, infin, smile. Okay, I would say let's add a couple more entities. Plus minus. Oh, Spades, phone, Spades clubs. Okay, I like it. Spades. No, I want the actual code. Spades clubs. Hearts. And dimes. Okay. From cards set. Cards. Playing card. Finish magic tricks. Hearts. Hearts. What? How do you call hearts? Card suits. Ooh, Spanish has its own hearts. Its own card suits. Cups, coins, clubs, swords. Italian. Swiss, German. Roses, bells. Acorns, shields. Let's add a couple more entities from French, playing card suit. From the French playing card suit. I'll change this to French. Spades. and then spades, clubs, hearts, dimes. Let's see how it. Okay. One French. Okay, French. Here are those cards. There you go. There you go. These two French. There you go. There you go. There are many HTML entities that you can have fun with. There are many HTML entities you can have fun with. I'll include a couple of links to extended entity list in the description today. Let's add a couple more entities from the French playing suit card suit. I'll change this to French ampersand spades. Okay, I think it is good for enough for entities. What else? Now let's say you want to show some code or text exactly as you type it in with all the spaces and line breaks. Okay, there you go. Let's go to or switch to the. Okay, something's wrong here. 2, 3, 4. Turn. Why aren't you? Let's do heading 3. Okay. Pre. Now let's say you want to show something, some text, exactly some text or code exactly as you type it with all its spaces and line breaks. It would be very cumbersome to achieve that, to achieve that with HTML entities. That's where the PRE tag. That's where the PRE tag comes into play. PRE stands for pre-formatted text. Whatever you put inside a PRE tag will appear exactly as you type it, including all spaces and line breaks. It's like saying, keep this text the way I wrote it, please. Yes, I like it. I'm gonna put it here too. I don't like the way this sentence, how it's structured, but maybe not structured, but said. Let's look at how to use these in our code. Let's look at how. Imagine you want to show a recipe for making a simple sandwich, and you want it to appear just like you wrote it in your notes. for making the best sandwich in the world. The best sandwich recipe: bread, cheese, tomato, and I want to have there what's this? Define. Okay, no. Ham. Like you wrote it. Here, the PRE tag ensures that the recipe keeps its formatting, showing each ingredient on the new line just as we intended. It's a handy tag for when you need to display code snippets or formatted text that requires precise spacing. Maybe this is useful. I don't know. I'm gonna write PRE, spell out the content, and the content is gonna be the best sandwich recipe. Okay, now I will let's look at the maybe I can ask it to generate me segment 12. I will look. Oh, there was another response version. Now let's dive into something that might seem a bit odd at first in HTML: the way it handles white spaces and line breaks. When you are typing up your HTML code, you might naturally hit the Enter key to start a new line or add a few spaces for indentation or to space things out. But here's the twist: HTML ignores most white spaces. This means if you have 10 spaces in your code or you hit enter a bunch of times, HTML treats it like a single space when displaying your content in the browser. This means that if you have 10 spaces, okay. HTML treats it as just one space. Shows it. This means if you have 10 spaces in your code or you hit enter a bunch of times, HTML shows all that as just one space. What are you unhappy with? Okay. It's like when you are trying to space out words in a text message by hitting the spacebar a lot, but it still sounds as if you just hit it once. So if you want to control spacing or create line breaks in your HTML content, you have to use specific HTML elements or entities. Speaking of which, let's talk about HTML entities. They are special codes that represent characters in HTML. You might wonder, why not just type the character? Well, some characters are reserved in HTML, meaning they have a specific function like the less than or greater than symbols, which are used to create tags. To display these characters as part of your content, you use entities. This is a good there you go. There you go. Okay, I like to edit. Some characters are reserved in HTML, meaning that is, in HTML, they have a specific function like less than or greater than symbols, which are used to create tags. To display these characters as part of HTML, we also use entities. For example, if I don't want, okay, if I want this opening p tag and closing p tag to show as is, to appear as is in the browser, I need to use HTML entities instead of less than and greater than symbols. I'll change this I'll change less than to less than lt less than and greater than to gt greater than less than, and the same is here. To percent lt less than semicolon and greater than to ampersand gt greater than semicolon. I'll do the same here too. I'll do the same for the closing tag, for the closing paragraph tag. Now we can see those in the browser. And the default margins are, where was those margins? Were those margins, or is it paddings? Okay, margins. All right. Margins. And the default margins are gone, which means we don't have the paragraph tag here, and it's just a plain text. Great. Maybe plain text? It's just plain text. Okay. One of the most common entities you'll come across is non-break space. Was it non-break space? Non-breaking space. Okay. Which stands for non-breaking space. It's used to create a space that will not be ignored by the browser. Where is it? I like this one. That the browser won't ignore or remove. We're right. Okay. Think of NBSP like a space that insists on being seen no matter what. It's particularly useful when you need to maintain the spacing in your content, like in a postal address or a mathematical equation. Finally, and this is very useful entity, especially if I don't want the browser to put the word to the next line. Like if I have two words and a space between them, and if the width of the element isn't enough, then the second word will be placed on the second line. And if I put the non-breaking space entity, the browser will keep the whole phrase or two words on the same line, which is not that obvious. Finally, let's talk about the PRE tag. This tag is like the hero for preserving white space, because everything inside a PRE tag, the PRE is displayed exactly as written in the HTML code. It's perfect for displaying code snippets or pre-formatted text because it maintains all spaces and line breaks. Imagine writing a poem in HTML. You'd use the PRE tag to ensure that all your stanza, what's stanza? Define stanza. Stanza, a group of lines forming the basic recurring metrical unit in a poem, a verse. Okay, I'm not that curious about that. And indentations are kept intact. Here's how you might use the PRE tag. With the PRE tag, your text will display exactly as it's laid out in your code. White spaces, line breaks, and all. With the PRE tag, your text will display exactly, Let's compare this to this sentence or to the way it's worded in the current version. No, it's better. Okay. To sum up, HTML's handling of white spaces might seem quirky, but with entities and tags like PRE, you have the tools to manage your content's appearance precisely. These features ensure that you can present text on your web page exactly how you intend, maintaining the integrity of your content's layout and spacing. Great. I can now ask it to generate segment 12. Okay, now we've talked about div and span. Have you ever noticed that when you're typing up, what's the difference? Typing up an HTML document and you press the space bar a bunch of times or hit enter a few times to make new lines, it doesn't actually show up that way in your browser. It all gets squished. Okay, I like this one. Define squished. Yes, I will keep that word. It all gets squished into one single line or space. This is because in HTML, white spaces and line breaks are stripped out when the browser renders the page. It's kind of like when you're trying to fluff a pillow, but it keeps going back to its original flat shape. I'm not sure that I want to keep this, and I think it is enough. So if it is enough, then I have enough for my script, then I should this is okay, great. Now let's dive. You see, HTML treats multiple spaces, tabs, and new lines in the code as just a single space when displaying it in the browser. This means if you try to format your content with extra spaces or line breaks for readability, HTML will simply ignore it. I like it, actually. It's better. HTML treats multiple spaces, new lines, and tabs, I would say. I'm gonna change the order of those in the code, just as this means if you try to format your content with extra spaces or lines for breaks for readability, HTML will simply ignore it. Let me add, let's have a paragraph with huge gaps and many light breaks like this. Okay. No, I don't like it. This is better to first show something and then explain it. Too many spaces are bad for your soul. Good. good for your soul. Could be, can be bad, Too many spaces can be, and line breaks can be bad. HTML treats multiple. This means that if you try to format your content with extra spaces or line breaks for readability, the browser removed all the extra spaces in new line. HTML treats multiple spaces, new lines, and tabs in the code as just a single space when displaying it in the browser. This means if you try to format your content with extra spaces or line breaks for readability, HTML will simply ignore it. To get around this, HTML has special codes called entities for characters that have a specific meaning in HTML or Okay, I like it. For example, if you write this in your HTML, this is an example of multiple spaces, and this, okay, both will appear all as a single line of text in the browser with just one space between words. It's like when you try to press the space bar multiple times in a word processor, but it still only shows one space. To force HTML to recognize spaces and line breaks, we use HTML entities and the PRE tag. HTML entities are special codes that represent characters in HTML. The most common entity you might use for this purpose is non-breaking space, NBSP, SP, which stands for non-breaking space. It forces the browser to add extra spaces whenever you place it. And it forces the browser to add extra spaces wherever you place it. For example, this will ensure there are exactly 3 spaces between this and is for preserving both spaces and line breaks exactly as you've typed them in your HTML code. You can use the PRE tag. It stands for pre-formatted text, and it displays text exactly as it's written in the HTML file, including all white spaces and line breaks. This is super useful for displaying code or poetry, where the format is crucial. By wrapping text in a PRE tag, you are telling the browser, hey, keep this text just the way it is. Don't mess with it. It's like putting your text in a glass case to preserve it. In summary, while HTML generally ignores extra white spaces and line breaks, using HTML entities like non-breaking space and like NBSP for spaces and the PRE tag for pre-formatted text lets you control the appearance of your text with precision. This gives you flexibility to present content exactly how you want it, ensuring your web pages look just right. Okay, let's generate the next segment. And this is the last version for the segment 11. All right, let's dive into a concept that's unique to HTML, but super important for your web pages: handling white space and understanding HTML entities, including the PRE tag. When you write in HTML, you might notice something a bit odd. You can hit the space bar as many times as you want, add tons of line breaks in your code. But when you view your page in a browser, it looks like none of that extra spacing is there. It's like HTML is on a strict diet, only allowing one space between words and ignoring extra line breaks. I like this one. It's like, okay. Okay, I will add that to my code. The browser removed all the extra spaces and new lines. It's like HTML treats multiple spaces, new lines, and tabs in the code as just a single space when displaying it in the browser. It's like HTML is on a strict diet. This means, okay. Why does it do that? Well, HTML is designed to display content in the most efficient way possible, stripping out unnecessary white space to keep things tidy and readable for users. Why does it do that? Well, HTML is designed to display content in the most efficient way possible, stripping out unnecessary white space to keep things tidy and readable for users. But what if you actually wanted to show code or format text in a specific way that includes those spaces and line breaks? For that, we have HTML entities and the PRE tag. But what if you actually wanted to format text in a specific way that includes those white spaces and line breaks? We've got HTML and the PRE tag for that. HTML entities are special codes for characters. For characters that have a specific meaning in HTML or aren't easily typed on a keyboard. For example, if you... Okay. HTML entities are special codes that represent characters in HTML. They are used for characters that have a specific meaning in HTML, like or for characters that can't be easily typed like a non-breaking space. Instead of pressing the spacebar, you use NBSP to create a space that HTML won't ignore. It's like telling HTML, hey, this space is important. Don't skip it. For example, if you're trying to show a mathematical inequality in text, you can't just type less than because HTML thinks you are starting a tag. So you would use ampersand LT semicolon, which stands for less than, to safely display on your page. Now, for preserving multiple spaces, line breaks, or formatting exactly as you've typed it in your code, there is the PRE tag. It stands for pre-formatted text. Wrap your text in PRE tags, and HTML will honor every space, every line break, and all the indentation. It's like telling the browser, take this text exactly as it is. Don't change a thing. It's perfect for displaying code snippets or poetry, where the formatting is key to understanding. Let's see how it works in practice. Notice the difference. The PRE tag keeps everything intact. The PRE tag keeps everything intact, just the way you typed it. It's a handy tool for when you need that exact formatting. By understanding how white space is handled and using HTML entities and the PRE tag, you can have more control over the appearance of your content, making sure it looks exactly the way you want it to, even in the structured world of HTML. Okay. Great. Now let's ask it to generate segment 12, the segment 12. Oh, lists? All right. Do we have understanding alongside recognizing? Oh my god. This is so academically stopped. Okay. I want to put this line, this beautiful divider here, and do this. Okay. I think we stopped here with Jim, and I stopped here with Dim. Okay, lists in HTML. This is what I want as the next topic. And can we make it something like this? Okay, great. Let's see what ChatGPT has created for us. Now let's introduce the UL and OL tags, which stand for unordered list and ordered list, respectively. Lists are a big part of structuring content on web pages because they organize information in an easy to read manner. Think of a shopping list or steps in a recipe. I bet that every person that watches this will watch this video that watches that I bet that every person that watches this video has encountered this concept of a list in their life. An ordered list. An unordered list starts with a UL tag. Each item in the list is marked with the LI tag, which stands for list item. Here is an example of how you can use it. This code creates a list without any particular order. It's like jotting down what you need from the store in any order. I don't know what jotting down means, and I actually don't like how it sounds. The browser displayed with bullet points ordered. Similarly, both lists can be nested, and maybe let's regenerate it. Okay, now that we've got a grip on how to structure our content with headings, paragraphs, and a touch of style with the strong tag, let's dive into lists. Lists are a staple in HTML, allowing us to organize information neatly and effectively. There are two main types, unordered and ordered lists. First up, unordered lists. Think of them as your grocery list or a bullet list of your favorite games. Now let's discuss. I like this phrase. It's short. There are two main types, unordered and ordered lists. First up, unordered lists. First up, unordered list. Think of them. Each item doesn't need to be in specific order. Let's create one for some movies, for good movies. In this snippet, UL stands for unordered list. In this snippet, UL stands for unordered list, and each LI is a list item. It's like saying, here is a list of things, but the order isn't important. Next, let's talk about ordered lists. These are for when the sequence matters, like the top 3 movies of the year. When the sequence matter, like I want some weird but interesting example of like, how do you like think of some funny and controversial example of list. How do you get up from chair? Whatever. I'm not sure how to say that. Here is the code. Here OL means this time automatically okay. Each item will be, this one I like. Each item will automatically be numbered to show its place in the sequence. Both types of lists can be nested inside each other to create sublists. This is super handy for organizing information that falls under different categories. For instance, if we wanted to list types of video games under their respective consoles, we do something like this. Okay, I like it. Like this, copy code, and now I will put, and it's gonna be HTML. All right. Lists are incredibly useful for breaking down information into manageable chunks, whether it's the steps required to beat the final boss in the game or just a daily to-do list. Understanding how to create and manipulate lists in HTML will significantly improve the structure and readability of your web pages. Okay. Let's ask it to regenerate. Respawn. Continuing from our exploration of HTML tags, let's talk about lists. I like it. It's simple. Let's talk about lists. There are two main types. Okay. Grocery lists you make before hitting the store, helping you organize items into different unordered lists. Use bullet points to list items without any particular order. It's great for when you... No, it's like... Oh, this is better. First up. An ordered list used to list item with bullet point to list items. Each item doesn't need to be in a specific order. Let's create one for movies. Okay, so to create an we start an unordered list. We start an unordered list with the UL tag, which is short for well, and unordered for well, unordered list. It's a container for all the list items. Each item in the list we create each item in the list with the li tag. Which stands for list item. In the code, different game. Good. Order lists, on the other hand, are for when the order of item does matter, like steps in a recipe. For order lists, we use the OL tag. Okay, I like it. whether you're listing your favorite games, steps in a recipe, or categorizing equipment. And ingredients for baking lists in HTML are your go-to structure for keeping things okay. So you want to organize your content a bit more, right? Imagine you're jotting down your favorite games or your daily to-do list. In HTML, we use lists for that. There are two types. Let's start with, think of it as a glossary you use to create each item in the list wrapped in. Each item in the list is wrapped in an LI tag, which stands for... Okay, let's do... In the code editor, let's add an unordered list for the top 3 games you might like. Type UL, then press enter. Now type LI, and after that, the name of the game. Repeat this step for each game. Now, for something like top 3 list, where order is important, we use an ordered list. That's where the OL tag comes in. It works just like UL, but this time each item is automatically numbered in the browser. All right, I like that thing. Now, when order is important, now for the things where order is important, we use an ordered list. That's where we create it with the OL tag. It works just like UL, but this time each item is automatically numbered by the browser. Okay. And for list items, we use the same LI tag. Lists are super handy, unordered, and there you have it, a quick rundown. And there you have it, HTML. And there you have it. Lists in HTML. This will help make your content more structured and easier to navigate. Let's move on to adding images and making your web pages even more engaging. Okay, wait a minute. Unordered lists are great for bullet points or when the order of items isn't important. To create one, we use the UL tag. Inside each item of the list is wrapped in an LI tag, which stands for looks. When we add this to our HTML, each item appears with a bullet point in front. It's like when you jot down making to-do list with ordered lists. I don't like it, and I don't like that it uses the definition list. It's very rarely used. Let's quickly look at why. This is very, very weird. Continuing to do unordered lists. These are used when the order of items doesn't matter. It's like a grocery list or a list of movies. Here's how you create one. This code: ordered, sequence, tag, unordered. It's exactly. And lists are not just for text. You can also have images, links, and other HTML elements as list items. And this is better. Yes, this is actually a useful thing to mention. And there you have it, lists in HTML. List me 10 fun things to use our list for. Let's see what it comes up with. Our versatile here. Favorite foods. No, like fun and bizarre fun and bizarre fun and bizarre. Alien species rankings. Fictional characters for Apocalypse survival kit. What this time travel Apocalypse survival kit. I like it. Apocalypse survival kit. Unordered lists use bullet points to list items. Each item doesn't need to be we start. When the order doesn't matter. Unordered lists use bullet points to list items. We use them when the order doesn't matter. We use them when the order doesn't matter, like in Apocalypse survival kit. Let's create one for Apocalypse survival kit. Okay, could you please list items for Apocalypse survival kit? Let's see what it comes up with. An item can be 5 words or less. Make it fun and bizarre. I like it. We can say unicorn, glitter, zombie, action figure set, alien communication, emoji flashcard. Solar, infinite, chocolate bar, ghost proof blanket, portable black hole. I like this one. And let's do the same for order list. To use OL list for weirdest ice cream flavors. Nah. Chronology of steps to become a pirate. Okay, and guide to survive. Stages of becoming superhero. Famous mythical creatures by religion. Okay, let's step. Keep it fun and bizarre. Choose your pirate name, grow an impressive beard. Practice your R daily, acquire a stylish eye patch, master the art of swashbuckling, collect bizarre treasure mobs, design a pirate. Oh, okay, I like it. I really like it. This is fun. Code OL. OL. And I want to, where is it? Staging the stages of becoming a superhero. To see what's here. Discover hidden radioactive bug bite. Choose catchy superhero name. Design spandex costume. Build secret underground layer. Acquire loyal yet sassy sidekick. Practice signature catchphrases. Perfect dramatic entrance technique. Choose your pirate name, grow an impressive beard, adopt a parrot sidekick, design your parrot flag, learn to navigate by stars, commandeer a ship, matey. Discover hidden radioactive bug bite, choose catchy superhero name, design, I like pirate more. Let's go with pirate then. This is way more interesting. Great. And for nestedly, in the nested OL, L inside OL list 4. Okay, let's try this one. Oh, okay. This is not good. Here's a whimsical and bizarre list of items you could use for a nested rubber duck wearing a detective hat. Glow in the dark sauce blend that plays dead when you touch it. Invisible ink pens. Create please then such HTML such list. It for nah. The list using L nested L inside. Using sentences with 5 words or less, because I want to keep it short. Let's see what it generates. A playful nested UL. Come on. Can do it. That has at least 3 items. Okay, what do we have here? Rubber duck detective, soul bathroom mystery, wears glow in the dark socks, light up your steps, no more stubbed toes, blended place that touch it, collapses. Okay, this is interesting. Okay. And if I create this list, let's see how it looks. Rubber duck detective, soul's bathtub mysteries daily, wears a tiny detective hat, floats stealthily by night, glow in the dark socks. List up, and well, let's create it. Light up your steps, no more stubbed toes, perfect for midnight. Quacks. No, use depot socks pencil. Can I change this? Let's see. Because I'm not a fan of a tiny hand painted figure of a dragon wearing a chef's hat. Who? Okay. Glow in the dark taco shells. Self-stirring mug. Okay. Edible gold leaf flakes plant. Plays music when you touch it. Invisible. I likes it. For glow in the dark taco shells. Oh, this is great. Self-stirring mug. Ideal for coffee lovers, effortless beverage mixing. Yeah, this is great. Brings joy and greenery. This is, oh, so good. I like it a lot. No games, it's fun. Glow in the dark taco shells. This is way more interesting than just like glow in the dark taco shells, perfect for midnight snacks, make tacos visually exciting. Safe, edible, and fun. Self-stirring mug. Push button stirs itself. Ideal for coffee lovers. Effortless beverage mixing. A plant that plays music. Touches turn into piano sounds. Interactive musical experience. Brings joy and great. Birthday presents. Let's have it for P. Birthday present ideas. P. Okay. Copy. This one now. Birthday present ideas. Okay. And I want it. This one. This. Great. And that's it for now.